the Wildcats after terrific runs by sophomores Samuel Etney and Samuel Ellison on the final two legs of the relay. McNetney ran a split of 1 minute and 51 seconds in the third leg of the relay, while Ellison anchored Villanova with a split time of 1 minute and 49 seconds, as Wildcats held off Notre Dame by less than a second to win the race. Also, sophomores Emily Lapari on the women's side took the Big East title in the 1,000-meter relay and was a conference champion of the 4x800 meter relay at the New York Armory this past Sunday afternoon, where Villanova finished third in the team standings after a terrific day of competition to wrap up the meet. The relay squad also consisted of freshman Stephanie Schappert and sophomore Nikki Akande, along with junior Arian Newts, who came ahead of Lapari and the quarter finish with a time of 8 minutes 38 seconds in order to hold off Notre Dame. With these two wins, the Wildcats have now won both the 1,000 meters and the 4x800 meter relay at 3 consecutive Big East indoor meets. This was the 20th time in history of the conference meet that Villanova has won the 4x800 relay. So congratulations to both the men's and women's team. And in golf, the men's team was down in Orlando, Florida for the 72 par meet at the Watson course. Although Villanova fell to both VCU and Notre Dame by scores of 4-2, there was some bright moments by some of the athletes, such as Michael Kenya and Brian Colbert. Despite the loss, the Wildcats are improving. They're looking forward to the spring season, and they're looking to build upon this tough loss down in sunny Florida. We wish them best of luck as we follow them throughout the spring semester. And now let's go over to Julia as she'll talk to us about some baseball highlights. Julia?
Thanks, Brendan. This past weekend, Villanova's baseball team opened their season against Arkansas. The Cats fell number 4th ranked Razorbacks 17-1 in a 3-game series. Arkansas was able to put together a big first inning and led 4-0 in the second game. A couple of errors made by Nova's starting pitcher, sophomore Max Almonte, contributed to the Razorbacks scoring the final 2 runs. Unable to score in the first 5 innings, senior left fielder Matt Fleischman singled with 1 out in the top of the 6th for the first Wildcat hit. Villanova freshman relief pitchers Tyler Radke and J.B. Cole had the best 2 performances on the mound and combined only allowed 3 runs over the final 4 1/3 innings of the game. Matt Fleischman, Connor Jones, Jordan Zeck, and Andrew Geenan all got hits over the course of the series. Congrats to Matt Fleischman, who was named Big 5 Baseball Player of the Week after he hit a .364 with a double, homer, and 4 RBIs in the first 3 games of the season. Next up for the Wildcats is a 3-game series at Norfolk State this weekend. Villanova's softball team traveled to Miami, Florida, where the Cats competed in the FIU Fiesburg Memorial Tournament. Villanova emerged from the opening weekend with 2 victories out of 5 games. Notable performances throughout the tournament include those from sophomore Katie Seitzman, who shut down South Carolina in the top of the 5th and put the opposing team down in order, including a strikeout, and seniors Jamie O'Hara and Shannon O'Brien for recording significant hits. Villanova's softball team has this upcoming weekend off before getting back in action at the USF Under Armour Invitational on March 2nd. Men and women's swimming and diving headed to Pittsburgh last week to compete in the Big East Championships, finishing in 9th and 5th place respectively. For Villanova's men's swimming, 3 different athletes scored team points for Villanova and also their best relay finish of the week, with a 7th place showing in the 400-yard freestyle relay. Although the meet was won by Notre Dame, Villanova scored 129 points over the course of the 4 days. The final event of the meet was the 400 free relay, where the Wildcats achieved a time of 3 minutes 3 seconds due to the efforts of Scott Theed, Ted Sukaramani, Jason Moyer, and Kyle Grant. Trio Brandon Clark, Ben Smith, and Russell Paulson scored points toward the team score, and Clark and Smith qualified for the consolation finals for the 200-yard backstroke and 200 butterfly. While Paulson swam in the 1650 freestyle, the women's swim team swam their best and as a result earned 5th place in the Big East Championship. Junior Haley Edwards turned in all Big East performances in the 1650-yard free and 200-yard butterfly and anchored the 400-yard freestyle relay. Her individual performances earned her 3rd and 4th all-conference honors of the week. She also achieved individual Big East accolades in the 500 free and was part of the Villanova All-Conference 800 free relay. Natalie Elphick, Katrine Heider, Sarah Jurek, and Edwards swam in the 400 free relay in the final event of the meet and came in 4th. In addition to other Lady Wildcat swimmers, Villanova advanced 5 other athletes to the consolation finals of the individual events, and also had 2 other scores besides Edwards and Tamaj in the 1650. Both the men and women's swim team did exceptionally well in the Big East Championship, and I'm excited and optimistic for next year. Great job, Cats. And now to Teddy for tennis.
Last weekend, the men's tennis team traveled to Newark, New Jersey to take on the New Jersey Institute of Technology. The Cats won their first and third doubles matches, but unfortunately, this would not be enough to gain a victory. Despite Ryan Payton's solid effort playing the third spot in doubles and singles and going undefeated, it just wasn't enough. Villanova fell to NJIT 5-2 and moved to 0-4 on the season. The men will travel to California for the Pacific Coast Doubles Championship. Serves up, and now for women's tennis. The women's tennis team also traveled to the New Jersey Institute of Technology this weekend, where the effort was led by senior Alexandra Harding. In spite of a good effort, Villanova eventually fell to NJIT 6-1. Mikkel Mancini also offered a valiant effort, but fell to Senior Kuzmenko of NJIT in 2 sets. Over spring break, the women will travel to Florida Gulf Coast University, where they'll take on the Eagles. We wish them best of luck as they travel to the South. This week, the men's lacrosse team took on the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. The first half was a real nail-biter, but it was all Villanova for the rest of the game. The charge was led by senior Kevin Cunningham and Big East Player of the Week, who scored 5 goals and had 2 assists. Villanova scored 10 unanswered goals in the second half to defeat the Hawks 17-7 and advance to 1-0 on the season. Even more incredible, 11 different Wildcats were able to add one to the tally, resulting in the victory against the Hawks for the first time since the 2003 season. Now, on to women's lacrosse. Yesterday, the women's lacrosse team traveled to Delaware to take on the Blue Hens. Unfortunately, the skies weren't as blue for the Cats as they were for the Hens. The scoring attack was led by freshman Jackie Fracaro, who had 2 goals against the Blue Hens. Villanova lost by a final score of 11-7 and stand at 1-1 on the season. The women take on Princeton this Friday at 4 p.m. We wish them the best of luck as they look to conquer an Ivy. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Wildcat Watch Live. I'm Teddy Powers.
I'm Catherine Boyarsky.
I'm Brendan Garrity.
And I'm Julia Carnese.
And as always,
Stay Wildcats.